Have you ever wondered what the angels want to tell us? Or if they had their biggest secrets ever, what would it be? Where do the angels live? And where do they come from? Who are these angels? This is Angelscapes podcast, and I'm your host, Nancy Smith. And joining me in this episode is Rachel Corpus. She's an angel in human body, and she has many thoughts and ideas and teachings about what the angels are really telling us and guiding us to do. Humanity has more going on than you ever thought of, is Rachel's message. Rachel is a channel, she's a medium, she's a teacher, and she's an actual angel in human body, and I can't wait to hear her story. She came into physical form to learn and teach us how to live fulfilled lives, and she has so many things to offer. So I'm gonna just bring her in now, and as we go along, I'll tell you how to connect with her and what to do. So welcome, Rachel, and thanks for coming on board.
Welcome to the Angelscapes podcast, where you're encouraged to uncover and develop a direct connection with your soul's power, wisdom, and spiritual intuition that is ready to blossom. We'll explore new ideas, compelling tips, and real steps to help you learn simple spiritual practices. We're a safe place to learn more about accessing your soul's power with education and spiritual wholeness that could bring more clarity to your life. Now here's your host, a practicing medium, Akashic Records practitioner, spirit artist, coach, and mentor, Dr. Reverend Nancy Smith.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for having me, and welcome everyone on Facebook Live. Great
Yeah,
to be
here. What I'd like to ask you first is, can you talk about how did you know you were angel incarnate? What were some of the signs and signals?
well. Like a lot of people who are spiritually gifted, I have memories of when I was a little kid, being able to see people who had passed. I'm talking about my infancy, really being in the crib, and when I was a toddler, being able to see people who had passed and playing with little kids from the cemetery that would come into my house and play with them, and not being scared of them at all, because to me, they didn't look like they were bruised up or damaged from their passing at all. And also seeing angels, and I call them light beings because they were made of light, and also seeing beings from other dimensions. I didn't know they were from other dimensions at that point. They just were beings made of love. And I could see my family that were from the beyond the veil. And they told me that they were my family, that they were my great grandmas and grandpas. And so when my family would talk about them, in my mind, it would say, oh, I know them. I know what they look like, but I knew them in a younger form. And when we would go to Mass, I grew up Catholic.
Right.
They did, you as well?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, us did. And the priest, who I loved dearly, would talk about stories, or I would go to catechism on Wednesday nights, a little bit older. And they would talk about the stories in the Bible. I would have Jesus or Mary Magdalene or one of the disciples by me, and they'd say, that's not how it happened. There's more to the story. That's made up. That they would even say, bullshit. That's not how it happened. But I'll tell you, when I was around 4 years old, my precious family was in a car accident. We were hit by a precious young man who was in his teenage years, and he had been drinking, and he hit us, which I'm sure changed his life drastically. And it definitely changed my family's life. Well, in that car accident, I was sent to the other side. I had a near-death experience. Well, everyone in my family, I'm sure, had their own life-changing experiences, and we don't talk about that much. But in my body, My body was receiving physical damage for sure. But my spirit was taken to the other side. And I remember quite clearly that all of a sudden I was not in the car, in my parents' car. And there was this grown-up voice speaking, and I was thinking, who is that? It was me. I was talking like a grown-up. It was this current Rachel voice. And they said, "Oh, honey, that's you. That's your angel voice." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yes, you're an angel." And I said, "You mean like in the Bible?" And they said, "Well, yes, it's not totally like that, but yes, we'll go with that." And they said, "We want to show you where you're from." And they took me to the seraphim level, and they showed me all about heaven. And then it clicked like, oh, I know all this. I know all this. And it wasn't like, here, we want to show you for the first time, like, remember, remember, remember. And it all came back to me. And I had my 4-year-old self in there as well, because I remember thinking, well, will I still get to play house? I love to play school. My parents were teachers. I love to emulate that. And they said, oh, yes. But listen, we got to give you a choice. This is all free will. You can either stay here or you can go back. And both are blessed, but you have a mission. And the mission was help people remember that they are not separate from God. They're not separate from love. They're going to identify God in their own way. That's not your job. But help them remember they're not separate from God. There is no other. Everyone is connected to everyone else, just like the trees are. Help them remember that. Don't get in the way of that. Help them remember. Go at it easy. Don't be preachy. Be like the water. Okay? And help heal your own ego. Your ego is going to be really big. And boy, yeah, it was. And sometimes is. Okay? Because I'm still human. I'm in a human form. So they walked me through that. They showed me some things in my life that were going to be really bad, really bad. And at that point, I was like, oh, that's not going to be so bad. That looks bad. But it seemed like a movie because I hadn't been through it yet. I was like, okay, well, I'll sign up for that. No big deal. Until I went through it. Whoa, girl. Well, I wasn't sure what I was going to choose. But then the 4-year-old self saw what it would be like for my mama if I didn't come back, and how sad she would be. And as soon as I saw that, whoosh, I was back in my body. So that's how I was told or reminded that I was an angel. And then, after that, I had glimpses of, I would see myself in the medicine cabinet in our old house, and I would be a light being myself. I would just be pure light. And then they would say, we're showing you to remind you that wasn't a hallucination, that happened. And then I would be able to move things, or, certain things would happen that they'd say, this is a milestone for you, so you remember. And it was not an easy journey, has not been an easy journey, but it's been wonderful. And I've kept to my course. I've kept to my mission for sure. And there were years that I forgot my gifts. That was going to be part of it. Or maybe not forgot, but I folded them back in because I didn't want to be strange. I didn't want to be the weird person. I think a lot of us who are gifted do that, but
We do, yes.
that's the gist of it, Nancy. Thanks for asking me that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to hear that. I remember having similar, I didn't have a near-death experience, but sitting in the churches and listening, I heard two stories going on at once. And also would see when the bells ring. That was a very special time, and I could see the energy. I think I saw things in color, like energetic color swipes, and I relate to your story. It's just so beautiful. And yes, that folding away, I want to be normal. I want to be part of everybody. And my parents did not always understand if I was going to say some of that weird stuff. So I wanted to be accepted by my parents. So I folded it away.
Yes, absolutely. Which is not them not accepting you. It's them just being on their own journey.
Yeah, on their own journey and wanting their children to be okay in the outer world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that because you're not going to be safe, and things
Yes.
like that. So what is your experience? You said it a tiny bit, you had that near-death experience and they explained everything, but in your body and living your life now, knowing that you had to overcome these big egos, what's it like being an angel in a human body now that you're an adult, I suppose? Or I'd like to hear a little bit about the growing up into adult years, but
Uh, it is a wonderful thing to work directly with God. It is wonderful. And I would say common. It's also common because we all have that beautiful agreement. We're all working with God, for God. We just have forgotten. Um, and what I mean by that, and I'm not speaking a religious God, that's a God made by man, not in a negative way, although it can be used negatively. When God is used to oppress, maybe we've been part of that here and there. Everyone maybe has been part of that in their own way. But what I mean is, we all began as star stuff, a part of God. And what I've been told is God, as big love energy source, has an agreement with us that, hey, if you want an incarnation, go do it. And then as you live and breathe, could you do two main things? Could you experience life and grow? And then as you grow, could you amplify everyone else, heal people as you do it, heal each other as you do it? That's one thing. And that healing is also incorporating unconditional love to the best of your ability. And then the second thing is kind of report back to me as you do it, through your sleep, through your thoughts. And as you do that, God gets to grow. And so we're all really working for God. So to answer your question, what's it like for me? It's pretty darn cool because I get to move between being in a human form and making mac and cheese for my kids, and just like watching movies and being in the moment, and also being this ethereal being where I can like click into that and say, God, I'm having a little worry about money. Can you talk to me about that? And then, because I get to do that, not have to, but because I get to be in that game with God, I also get to sit with other people and be in the gap with them as they're dealing with that as well, whether it's a cancer journey or a grief journey, or I've lost my pet. I don't talk them out of it. I don't dismiss it, but I can relate in my own way to what that is for them. And I can also connect them to the best of my ability to their people who have left their bodies. And I can say, I know where they are. I know what they're doing because I'm in between that. In this form, I'm in between this life and the next because I'm made of that star stuff. Well, we all are. I'm no different. We're all the same. There's nothing special about me. It sounds special, but it's not. Um, it's divine. It's a divine way to live. And I know that any person living, listening, even the dead people in my office right now, wink, wink, can have this amount of bliss in their life. Anyone. Because I do live a blissful life. It's not always easy, but it is blissful because I've claimed it. It's
beautiful.
possible. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I kind of want to ask you, and the seraphim, they took you to the seraphim level. And what is the seraphim level like? Could you tell me a little bit about the angel? Well, there's so many books on angel hierarchy, and you were 4, so I don't expect you to know. But what was that like?
Well, coolest thing is that's where the unborn babies are.
Oh,
Yeah. so I got to see, I have a lot of babies that weren't born in this life. That was part of the hardship. And I got to meet them and they got to say, hey, by the way, we're not going to be able to see you on the other side, but here we are. We're some of your guides. They walked me around. That was really strange for a 4-year-old because I was like, I don't care, but it mattered later.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Um, yeah. So the seraphim level, there's a beautiful nursery there. So everyone listening who has babies who were not born, that's where they are. And they don't always stay there. They will be raised by your ancestors, your family on the other side.
They do grow up on the other side.
They do grow up, yes. So there's a beautiful nursery there, and some of the places in the seraphim realm, they will look quite modern. Like the nursery looked quite modern. It's also a place where I noticed there were lots of beautiful meeting rooms where a lot of galactic, stay with me here because I know that I'm going to stretch a lot of people's belief systems, but stay with me. A lot of councils where other beings came to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw a lot of meeting rooms. They were empty when I was there, but I was shown that, and when you'd walk by, they would light up. And I was shown that when you'd walk by, it was your heart energy that would wake up the rooms. There were no light switches. It was like, oh, well, it's your energy that wakes things up. And the floor was very warm. And everyone there was pleasant. And it smelled like, to me, it smelled like lilacs and cinnamon. And I remember asking about that. And they said, the angel that was with me said, oh, really? To me, it smells like something baking. And I thought, oh, it must smell like something different to everyone. There are different ranks in heaven, but it's not better than, less than. It's just a system. It's like a map, but you don't graduate to a different level. You can move to a different level as a seraphim. If I want to hang out with the cherubs, I can do that. I could work with the cherubs, but it's not because I want to get a promotion. It doesn't work that way. Everyone's equal on the other side.
Okay. It's just you could choose to work in a different realm if that suits
Yes.
something for you to learn or
Yes. And
communicate.
that's what it's supposed to be like on Earth, too. We're all supposed to be equal. That's what we're striving for here, they said.
Equal, but moving to different realms or different experiences.
Yes.
I'm gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna be a doctor, but you know what? I want to have some trash removal experience. Kind
Yes,
of.
I want to do it all. The ceilings in the buildings in the angelic realm, they are alive. Kind of reminds me of Harry Potter art where it comes alive when you look at it. And that can show you any data that you're looking for. So if I wanted to see what was going on, I remember the last moments when I was thinking about my mother, I looked up to see that. I could see what was going on. They were in the hospital at that time. They had been moved to the hospital, and I could see that. I looked up to the ceiling. So I didn't go back down to earth. I went up. I went,
Wow.
yes,
Okay. Sure.
I went up to earth. Yes, because we're always moving up, up.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's really
Get
interesting.
that?
Yeah. Do you talk to other angels? I know you do communicate with other angels, and we're going to segue into, I have a lot more questions, but do you have your angel buddies that you were with on the heavenly realm, and are they working with you here now? And who are they?
Yes. I have 2 guides. When I am not in my physical body, they're my best friends, like my coworkers, my peeps. And yeah, they function as my guardian angels. We all have guardian angels that are meant just for us. You probably know this, Nancy.
I just found out somebody's told me that we actually have 2 guardian angels plus
Yeah.
everybody. Is that
Typically Yeah, in this incarnation, everyone has two because this is the lifetime, the generation where the big changes are happening for Mama Earth.
Okay.
So
Oh,
prior incarnations, we might have had one, but now everybody, standard issue, two.
wow. And why two? What are they helping us with? What are they saying to us that we're not hearing?
Well, there's just more to be done. We've all chosen to incarnate and cram in at least 7 lifetimes worth of information or learning, which is why a lot of people are like, gosh, why is so much stuff happening to me? Why is so much caca hitting the fan?
Oh my
It's
God,
because
I'll be right there
we've,
with that.
yeah, we've chosen that. And because we want to learn so much, we're putting so much into one lifetime. You
Mhm.
have extra helpers who are helping you go into therapy sessions when you're asleep at night. They're helping you pull that apart. They're helping protect your body because you already chose your passing date. And so
Mhm.
if you're getting into danger before the day of your passing, they're going to keep you from passing early or maiming
Mhm.
your body. Um, things like that. And they give you wisdom. They laugh with you. They're hysterically funny. They have their own personalities.
I love that.
And have
Yeah.
archangels around you too that are not limited to time and space or people. They're there for everyone. And
Who are I talk to as many angels as I possibly can who will listen to me, but who are your faves? Who are your best ones? You got your guardian angels that you're talking to all the time,
yeah,
and the archangels. They're
love
accent
Archangel
Israel.
Azrael.
Israel.
Azrael is my favorite. I would say I'm not supposed to have favorites, but he's there all the time because he's been mismarketed. He always shows up as the angel of death, but he will show up to help people pass in a very gentle way, but he's really here. He's the archangel of change. So when you see like a giant pile of rubble, he was there at 9/11. He's
Okay.
there because when something has shifted greatly, he's there for the regrowth. He's there when something is ready to change.
The
So
trans.
about what's going on in our great world right now. Even if someone is remodeling their kitchen, Azrael is there. He's like, okay, I'm going to help you get through this. I know you're overwhelmed because you just pulled everything out of your closet, babe, but look, it's time to go to Home Goods. I got you. I'm
Oh,
ready. I know that you're scared to go through this divorce, but if it's the best thing for you, I'm going to hold your hand. That's Azrael.
Israel.
And
Oh,
he's a gentle spirit, even though he might show up in motorcycle gear. He's the most gentle spirit. Yeah, I really love working with Azrael.
I work at Azrael with my mediumship, and he's the angel
Ah,
that
yeah.
please come in and help me. They all help. They all have their gifts.
Yes.
Archangel Uriel is another big one for me. Tell me about Uriel from your point of view.
Oh, Ariel, I don't
Uriel, Uriel.
Uriel.
Yeah.
Uriel. I work with Uriel when I'm crossing people over.
Okay.
Yeah, Uriel always shows up when I work with Uriel and Archangel Metatron a lot. They come in as partners because when I am doing a house clearing or clearing a person, Metatron, first of all, Metatron's one of my buddies because Metatron's the archangel who has had experience being human.
Oh, I
So
bet. I
yeah,
bet.
he's
Yeah.
one of my guides who helps me just be in my body. And then I see Archangel Uriel come in because Uriel is the one that will say, all right, let me coach this person who believes that they're not worthy to cross over. I want to help this person go into the doorway
Yeah.
and go into the light to go back to their version of God. And I always see Uriel showing up. Um, what a bright archangel, and the gentleness there and the humor, um, and can really soften the toughest nugget. Yeah, I love Uriel. Yeah.
Beautiful. I have somebody who just is asking a question. I'm
Oh,
trying so hard to get to my next level, but it's so hard to let go. Thank you for this. You've made me so welcome and enlightened. This is beautiful. I'd also do you have some words of encouragement for I'm not sure what she meant by getting to her next level, but I'm sure in life we level up, as we say.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to thank this. Is it a woman that
Laura.
asked?
Laura, yes.
Yes. Um, well, they're saying that she really enjoys moving with her body, and they're saying that her physical body is ready to, like her cells are ready to accept more joy, more light, and not to keep her body from that. It's time to align her emotional body and her physical body together. They're ready to marry. Um, she might be one that experiences when she's stressed, she gets a cold sore or she gets a headache. And that's not pleasant, but it's a good sign that her physical body and her spirit body are communicating well together. So they're saying, why not go with it? And to get to the next level, bring everything into congruity and do this with music that you love. It's time to be in the flow and just let go. So find the movement that you love and move like the wind with abandon. They're asking you to go in the flow state of a child. They're saying you actually created, I hope this makes sense to you, my friend. You created your role models. They came from you. You created your role models. So ask yourself who they are and watch them and move like they do. And then pay attention to how the wind moves the flowers and the wheat and mimic that movement and let your spinal column go fluid. And they're saying if you can go back to that original state, you will find your angelic form and let your body move like that. I didn't expect that answer. I hope that makes sense to you. I guess it's like, let's let go. Let go. Don't manage so much.
Let go and move, and that will help
Yeah,
you.
let go and move. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have trouble letting go because our it's safe to be where we are.
Yes.
That we know where we are. We know what the rules are, but letting go of those rules, like break,
Yes.
go beyond. And
Yeah, and I will say that Archangel Uriel just put a weighted blanket over her and said, if you need our help, put weight over you when you sleep so your body feels safe, and we'll safely take you over the veil when you sleep, and we'll dance with you.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
There's you.
is I'm inspired by it. I'm taking it too. Okay.
All
Um,
those messages from one person are always for everyone, aren't they?
well, they are. They really, really are. That's
Yeah.
good. Good, good. So you started to talk about Uriel says bringing a weighted blanket in and could help her dance from the other side. And what more can you tell us about how angels interact with us? We may not know, we may not be aware. They don't like to come in unless we ask them. And so sometimes that feels like limited, but let's talk to me about how the angels interact with us. What do they want us to know? What
I like your thought. I like your statement about ask them in, because we have been given the gift of free will. And so when you ask your angels, when you say to the angels, I invite you in, you elevate them from a position of cheerleader to participant. And you really just need to do that one time in your life. And also, they love it when you say, hey, angels, give me a hand here. So that's a really good thought, Nancy. And then when you do that, angels have infinite amounts of ways that they can come in and help us. The archangels, especially, they can move into a human body, they can show up and then disappear. You'll have those times in your life where I want to thank that person that helped me. Where did they go? Oh, someone was just standing there. Someone just saved my life. Where are they? And then in a smaller scale, they will show you numbers. Um, Watch for those numbers when you are driving or you're in the passenger seat. Watch the semi trucks. They like to show you big semi trucks that go by you. on your right side, that's your right side angel, left side angel. And the right side angel often likes to take care of your primary needs, your housing, your money, the earth stuff. And the left side angel takes care of your spiritual needs. So pay attention to what numbers are being shown to you on what side. And for some reason, they like the semi trucks because, or like the SUVs with the dust on it, where kids have written notes with their fingers. Watch those. And then watch the license plates or the how am I driving and those 800 numbers. Watch for those and then see what numbers within those phone numbers pop out to you. Then look them up. I really like, this is Rachel speaking, I like Joanne's Sacred Scribes. I love her website. What she's channeled about angel numbers is so specific and so spot on. I think it's because she's also an artist that her heart really comes through. So that's Joanne's Sacred Scribes. You can find
Okay.
her on the internet. And they also communicate through our animals. Our animals are from the angelic realm.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they're here to teach us unconditional love. And so our angels can communicate with them. And so let's say you have a cat and your angels know that you need care. So your kitty will come up and start purring. They are healing your body through the frequency of that purr. Or if you have been going a little too far in your sleep, your kitty will sleep at the top of your head to keep you in your body more. If you have a doggy, your dog will be able to sense where in your body you have some energy stuck and will maybe lick your foot or cuddle near your hips. That's guided by your angels. Your angels will send you signals in nature, a heart-shaped leaf. They will speak through people next to you. That's called angel speak. So people will say, they'll keep saying the same thing. Like, why do people keep talking to me about this beautiful podcast by Nancy Smith? I keep hearing that. What about this movie? Okay, I get it. That's angels. So many ways they communicate. Just got to be open for it, open to it.
Love
Yeah.
that. I want to take a little break and tell people about you or how they could reach you. You can reach out to her through Gmail at theangelcounselor@gmail.com. Is that
My
correct?
preferred way actually is through my website.
Okay, RachelCorpus.com.
Yeah. Yes. I prefer
Okay.
that because then you get to know a little bit more about me and if I'm the right fit for you. So go to my website, rachelcorpus.com, and you can see what's available to you. If you want to work kind of more one-on-one in a more specific container, and what I mean by that is I have mindset luminary sessions where I meet with people and we talk about how to pull out stuff that's stuck in your subconscious that really doesn't belong to you, but you probably got it from your beautiful parents or your grandparents, or you chose to bring it in from your ancestors, or you got it from movies growing up, stuff that you believe is in your way. Your angels and I will help you identify that and build processes to pull it out. And it's a fun process. You want interested in things like that, that's the Mindset Luminary program. And then if you're interested in sessions, I'm available for that as well. In person, if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, or Zoom, if you're out of town or out of country. And then I have my podcast, Angel Talk, which is available on, wherever you get your podcast, just like Nancy's. So such good stuff. So fun to do a podcast, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Bringing out information that wouldn't necessarily be discussed in the
Yeah,
coffee house or something. But
me too.
you're on Facebook as the Angel Counselor. You're on Instagram as the Angel Counselor, and you're also on
Yeah,
YouTube as at Rachel Corpus. And can we find
yeah.
the Angel Talk podcast on your YouTube, your Rachel Corpus?
Much on YouTube, but you can find other interviews just by searching my name. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So everyone, that's how you could reach out and learn about Rachel. I really recommend it. I've been on her site and I have a bunch of questions for you just right from your site, things that you said that sounded terrific. And one of the things that you talked about is to discover that we're a multiverse ourselves. And what did you?
Yes. Well, for some, the angels tell me, and this feels true to me too, that we've had so many incarnations where we've been told to just stand in line, be quiet. This is our name, and there's just one identity that we have. And what I've learned in this work that they have shown me is that there's so much more to us, and that we're actively part of a multiverse. And I study quantum physics, and there are formulas to prove that as you and I speak here right now, there are other versions of us that are happening in a different frequency. And those other versions aren't happening out there, they're happening within us. And there are formulas to prove that those frequencies, if we can tune into them, which we can with sound or thought, we can access them. So, Nancy, if there are things in your life that you wish to change, heal, amplify, grow, what you can do is tune into that timeline in the multiverse. See that, feel that, whatever it is you want to heal, grow, create. See it, feel it, copy it, paste it, pull it into this timeline. You can blend those timelines.
Oh,
Because you're part of that. It belongs to you. It's your property.
I did that once years ago. I was trying to write a book, and I wanted to reach the part of myself. I've been a book designer for years, but I wanted to reach the part of myself that actually wrote things and actually published things. So I did that, and then I went ahead and worked on my book. And I came across things, or I realized things that I really didn't know myself. And it was
You
really,
did it.
yeah, it was from that person who was a publisher or whatever she did. But it was
We do it all the time without knowing we do it. We do it in our dreams all the time. And now, I love to help people all the time do it on purpose, do it intentionally, or to move away from pulling in negative patterns that they are pulling from timelines that they don't need to do anymore. And we can also do the same process with what we used to call past lifetimes, because they're really not in the past. They're vibrating
happening at once.
around us.
Yes.
Yeah, even though we're in a different costume, Nancy, you don't look like the same person you did when you were in the 1920s, but it's the same, you're the same spirit. But we can access that data of you in the 1920s, and we can see, well, what is it there that you wish to keep or redirect? And we can copy that, paste it, and put it into this timeline. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It all belongs to you. Isn't that fascinating?
Love that. I love that. Um,
Yeah,
so this is about accessing the quantum realm, is what we're talking about here.
absolutely.
You're talking a little bit about time travel and hidden information. All of that is amazing things. So you wrote somewhere about how to access. What are some ways that we can access the quantum realm? You said a little bit about music, and love playing. Yeah, talk.
Yes. One of the most easiest ways to access another time is by time travel is through music. So you can let your body go easy and find a piece of music from the time that you wish to travel. You put that piece of music in your earbuds. Then you find a scent that is not of this time, but I would recommend a neutral scent. So it can't be a Christmas scent. It needs to be something that you don't personally identify with. It can't be Vicks Vapor Rub that your mother put on your chest. That has maybe an emotional response to it. This would be a good question to ask your angels. Give me a scent that would work, and then their response is usually something they will drop into your consciousness. So sometimes those responses would feel like, oh, I just made that up. No, go with it, right? Trust yourself, trust them. And then it's probably going to be an essential oil. And it might be something that's very old, like frankincense or something. It might be something you've never tried before. Who knows? But get something going that you maybe mix with a carrier oil so it doesn't hurt your skin. And you put that under your nose. You get the song going. And then you're going to put an eye mask on to get rid of all the other light. And what you're going to do is you're going to begin to practice looking behind your eyelids, like the room, you're looking in a room that has lost power, because this is the quantum realm. We always have access to it. It's behind our eyelids. This is where you were when you were in the womb. You were in the quantum realm. When you were in your mom's belly, you were in the molecular space, the in between, the quantum, and you're going back to that space. The difference between now and in mom's belly was in mom's belly, you weren't yet thinking about bills and insurance and taxes and world stuff. So the practice here is let the music take over. And once you are looking behind your eyelids and you start to think about, oh, I need to buy more milk, take it back to the music and look behind your eyelids and start watching for things like lights, faces, shapes, and then let the time travel take over. You will begin to, and play the song on replay. The quantum will start to tunnel you. You'll start to move. You'll start to see something, and it will take you into a different dimension. This is not something that your brain will need to make up. The quantum will take you somewhere, and you'll actually go into a three-dimensional room or street or some different place. And you, of course, need to find a place where your body won't be distracted. So sit up or lie down, get the pets out of the room, tell your spouse or your kids not to bug you, give yourself a good half hour or 45 minutes or longer to do this. If people are not used to getting their body quiet, yoga nidra is something good to practice. So that's basically like yoga to help you fall asleep or to get your body asleep, mind awake. But that's the easiest form of time travel. Music.
Well, there's a question Bree came up with. She said she's having a lot of trouble turning off the loudness in her head. A lot of things have changed in her life, and her head just won't quiet down. And I feel like she's saying, I can't really connect to my gifts, or I can't really connect to my purpose. So she feels like it's if I could be quiet in my head. But what are your thoughts on how the angels can help her with that, or how quantum journey can be done when you can't be quiet?
Yeah. Don't expect this is going to be the opposite maybe of what you want, dear Bree. Don't expect yourself to be quiet. Allow everything to come in first. I'm going to give you a process that I give to my mindset luminaries. You get to allow everything to come through first. If you skip the allowing phase, nothing can come after it, or it's really hard to let things come through. So there's a 3-step process that I'm going to give you first. The first step is allow everything in. All those thoughts that you're trying to quiet, they're there for a reason. Let them all in. Pay attention to them. So when you close your eyes and you're looking into the quantum, if you have these thoughts that keep coming up, okay, let's think them. Let's go ahead and give them their time. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to the music from another time and it's just not happening, all right, well, let's change the song and let's put on, I don't know, some dance music or something. If your head is dancey, let's put on some dance music. Lift it off, get a notepad out. What are these thoughts about? Because these thoughts are related to a limiting belief in your subconscious. And that thought might be, I shouldn't be resting right now. I should be up doing something. That doesn't belong to you. That belongs to somebody else who walks by and says, what are you doing? If you have time to rest, you have time to clean something. That's somebody else. That's not yours. So get the notepad out, write this stuff down, because this allows you to scoop the crap out of your subconscious and get it out. After you do that for a while, you're going to realize that your thoughts loosen up and you go into the next phase, which is neutrality. This is neutrality. And neutrality is your thoughts slow down a little bit. It'll be easier to access the no thought. When you get to no thought or neutrality, then the third step is you get to create. That's when you get to start manifesting. But you can't get anywhere unless you allow all the gunk to come up. If we don't allow our feelings and the gunk, that's irresponsible spirituality. We can't be puppy dogs and rainbows all the time. That's not fair.
I agree. No, we're human. Like you said, when we were first started the show, you had that near-death experience as a 4-year-old, and they said you're going to have to learn how to work with your ego, heal your ego. You said, I think were the words you used,
Yes.
and heal your ego. You can't ignore your ego, and when you heal it, you have to be right there with it.
Yes.
What I
Yes.
taking away from
And
that.
I still am. I still am. Boy, I can be quite the asshole. Yes, as we all can. Right? I'm not easy to be married to. I'm not nice sometimes. Ask my husband. Ooh.
Oh, yes. I'm calling him right now. No, I'm kidding. But we all can be. We're defending ourselves, or we're defending what we think is right or what we think is wrong, without allowing the flow of the learning. You also said that we're here to bring information to source, to God, or
Yeah.
we call it source, but whatever you want to call it. They're very interested in learning what we're learning. And if we're doing it for pretending, they're left empty-handed. To me,
That's right. That's right. We're only giving one side, and that's like the saccharine sweet side, the top of the donut. No, it only goes so far. The good stuff is the work that we're doing. So allow everything to come in and up.
I had an experience. I'll share this really quickly. I don't want to hear me talk. I want to hear you talk. But I was going through a divorce. My 2 young kids, and it was a needed divorce. It was necessary. And but I didn't count on the fact that they were going to be with their father every other weekend. Because I had never been away from them, and I couldn't sleep. And I was dozing on and off, but mostly awake for months. This went on. I was just getting a little fruity. And one night I started to say the rosary at night. Being raised Catholic, I reached back to something, but also it was repetitive. It was it's just like you would say a mantra, or just those prayer beads, Buddhist prayer beads, malas. Anyway, so I was saying the rosary every night, and it was 4 a.m. one time, and I had this dream, but not a dream, where Sacred Mother came through, Mother Mary came through. It was beautiful. Very specific space that I actually looked up later, and it was actually a place that is on the planet somewhere. Anyway, she said, I don't want to hear the perfect prayer. I want you to pray like this. And she reached inside of my most painful place, my belly, which we have our last nerves is always there. And she brought all the words that I had been cramming down and not wanting to admit. And she used all those words to create a prayer. And I got goosebumps, and I felt so relieved to have that outside of me, to have that expressed. And she said, this is what I want to hear, because then I know what to do for you. Then I know how to help you. I don't know what to do with you when you're saying these things that you think I want to hear. It was beautiful. I woke up crying. And
Ooh,
some in
there
my
you
life
go.
ever heard Mary say, I want to know your hangnails. I want to know your problems. I don't want you to be perfect.
There
And
you go.
it's beautiful. So now I say these prayers that are, I try to bring them into a ritual, but mostly I just pray from my heart, say, holy cow.
Conversation.
Conversations. Yeah, conversations with Mary, conversations with God. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you told me that. Mm.
You're welcome. Thanks.
You know what I'd like to add to that, if I could?
Please. Yeah.
I love that when Mother Mary shows up for me, she's almost always in jeans and a comfy t-shirt and like Adidas tennis shoes. And her hair's in a messy bun.
Love that. Oh, that's a beautiful
Doesn't
image.
that kind of fit that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll have to. I keep her and all of the angels in a specific, I think I'm keeping them in a box because I keep them in specific things that I've seen in books or I've seen in paintings or I've seen in, of course, the paintings were done medieval times, and
Oh,
so I costume them up as being old and inaccessible. And I love the jeans and t-shirts and messy bun.
yes.
I love that image because they're here right now.
Yeah.
Um, I create a connection that's right now instead of making a visual connection that's far, far away. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah. It always blows me away too, because my brain does that. Because that's, sitting in mass as a little one, I was looking at the Stations of the Cross, and they were all, they had the gold hoop around, and they had all of this adornment, or they were bloody or something. And that's still, all those things still come to mind. I'm like, no, 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 that's not what we look like. No. And Jesus is like, I'm not a white man.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That still gets me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
So
I have really loved talking to you today.
it's been beautiful. It's been wonderful. And I have a lot of questions left. So possibly you can come back again. I see a lot of
Okay.
And angels are so important. I couldn't talk, we can't talk enough about angels in my opinion, but so it's been wonderful to have you here. I would like to explore more about your near-death traumas and portals of connecting to other beautiful dimensions and the extra conference rooms. Who was showing up in those conference rooms? We have to get down to this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love to connect again. So let me know, and thanks for moving this up so I can go to my son's wrestling meet. Those things are precious. That's
Oh,
life.
they're once in a lifetime kind of things. So Rachel is available, everyone listening now and later through her website, rachelcorpus.com. I love reading her website. There's a lot of information just about life on her website. You can also listen to her on Angel Talk podcast. I'm sure if you search it, Google it, or however you search, Angel Talk will come up for Rachel Corpus, and you can look for her on Facebook as the Angel Counselor, Facebook, Insta, and YouTube. Well, YouTube is Rachel Corpus. So that's all the information. Please find her. I bring people onto this podcast who are accessible, who want to hear from you, who want to help you. And that Rachel checks all of those boxes. So thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on. And for now, I want you to go and embrace your angels, embrace your soul, embrace yourself, and know that you are loved and you are perfect just the way you are. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay connected to source. And that's the end of this session, and we have much more later. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the Angelscapes podcast. We hope you've gained new insights and inspiration for your journey to uncover and access your soul's power. For more information and a deeper dive into finding clarity in your life, go to angelscapes.com. Remember to subscribe so you can be part of the discussion. It may just change your life. See you next time.